Father, I pray right now, Lord, that you can give me the strength to successfully get through my first hour, my first podcast. Life with Lebang. Give me everything that I need: strength, love, peace at the center. Please be with me, Lord. Please take away these nerves. You're the way, the truth, and the life. I pray this in your name.
Amen.
Okay, brother.
Central.com.
We're going to cry, laugh, and love. And we're going to do it together. The Life with Lebang podcast. Righty. It is a sunny afternoon, well, morning actually. It's Life with Lebang here on cliffcentral.com, and thank you for taking the time out of your day just to connect with us, just to chat with us, and to give us your time, because ultimately that's what life is, right? Life is experiences, it's sharing, it's getting to know people and learning from each other. One of my favorite things is, what can I learn from a person that I'm meeting? If it's the first time I'm meeting a person, I like to take something away. So if what I take away can be great, then kudos to you. And I hope that that's something that you can aspire to do as well. So thank you so much. It's the first episode of Life with Lebang. I can honestly say from the bottom of my heart, this is probably something that I've been wanting to do for the longest time. But you know how life is. Life is like, okay, cool, you've got plans, sure, but then there's the actual thing that happens, which are the real plans. So I'm really, really excited to be hanging out and to just be sharing with you things that I believe in. So we're going to cry, we're going to laugh, we're going to share experiences together. We're going to have guests on who are also going to share their experiences with you, just so we can really, really get to understand one another more. I always say that I wish travel was free so that we can just go across countries and just learn how other people live life so that we can better our own lives. There's no such thing as, the little world that we live in is the world. That little cocoon does not exist. Sorry, Karen. It doesn't exist. There's more to life than what we know and how we see it. And the big purpose of this show ultimately is for us to learn from one another, to share experiences, to add value into one another's lives. And I'm excited to do that. I'm really, really excited to get to know you and to introduce you to some amazing people. And of course, to do that in the things that I'm passionate about. And one of those things is music. And this is a podcast, but I love music. So we're still going to be able to make those things come together, share, experience, live, love. I'm not alone. Aaron's with me in the background, and he's making my life a lot easier because he's such a star. He's just running the desk for me, making me feel comfortable, which is great. So thank you, Khumulimo, aka Aaron, for making life so easy for me. So yeah, Life with Lebang, it's an hour where we're going to be hanging out, sharing, experiencing. I'm going to first and foremost tell you off the bat that I'm a mother of 4. So if you're not a mother, or if you are a mother or a father or a sister or a cousin, then you know what it's like to have kids in the vicinity. So you can imagine what I go through every single morning when I'm looking at my 2 little baby girls who are 6 months old and the other one is almost 2. And then I've got 2 big boys. One is 7 and one is 9. This is my life. This is my daily life. I wake up with them every single day. And I'm going to really get vulnerable and open up about some of the experiences that I have with them. Some of them are tougher than most. It's not always peaches and cream. It's not always sunshines and rainbows as it is in movies. It gets very real. It gets very personal. And I'm going to need some advice from you, because sometimes I don't even know what I'm doing. I feel like I'm winging this mother thing. Like, I've been a mother for 9 years, but I'm still feeling like I'm learning every single day. So, I would absolutely love for you to share with me some of your experiences as well. Just engaging in kids, because I know not everybody likes children, and that's okay. But I love kids. I love kids. I think that kids make the world go round. I think that children are so pure, and within that purity, I'm a big preserver of that purity. I like for children to remain kids. I mean, we live in a time where kids aren't really able to do that so much anymore. They're constantly on screens. They're constantly exposed to so many different things. And my mothering style, my parenting style, is that we should try our best to preserve what's left of these kids. Let's get them outside. Let's get them to play with toys. Let's get them to play with one another and not be too stuck on TV screens, and let's get them in a book. I mean, when last did you buy a book? When last did you buy your kid a book? I got invited to a baby shower recently, and the host was like, look, I don't want any toys. I don't want any diapers. I just want a book. Can each of you purchase a book for my unborn child? And I was like, yes, mama, that's the energy. That's what's up. I can buy a book, because that's the kind of value that we need to be adding into the lives of these unborn children, into the lives of, our children that are already here. These are our future leaders. So it's definitely worth thinking about when you're invited next to either a birthday party or a baby shower or even just to somebody's home. Think of a book. A book is something that I personally did not grow up liking. Books were always kind of a punishment, like schools and okay, you guys have to read this very, very, very thick book and then you'll get marked on it. I don't know why it wasn't positioned as something fun or something value adding, because that's what it is at the end of the day. And that's what I've come to learn as I've grown up, that books are a place that you can dive into and get lost. So from a young age, let's do that. Let's try and instill that into our kids, into our circles. Let's get the kids to like books and be encouraged about reading. So those are some of the parenting ideas that I'm big on, and it's very, very different to how I grew up. I am a 31-year-old young South African mommy, daughter, wife, and I'm just living my life the way I know it. So things are different, We're not all going to live the same lives. And I just want to take the best out of what I know in my life and share that with you and encourage you and be encouraged by your stories and your experiences. So I've got a fabulous family. I've got 2 brothers, a mom and a dad who are awesome. And they're great. And my dad was the first person in his family to ever get a college degree, to ever get a real job. So there was obviously generally a lot of pressure growing up for him, being the first person who can take his family out of the township and out of, we use the term emakaya, out of the homelands. The homelands is, that's a direct translation. So he was the first person in our family to be able to move out of the homelands and into the suburbs. Oh my gosh, the suburbs. Finally, we're allowed to have homes here and build lives here. I mean, for obvious reasons of which I don't want to dive into too much. South Africa generally has been a country that is constantly changing. We've been through a lot. It's 27 years of freedom, if I'm 27. And we're still fighting for it, and we're still, gunning for it. So my dad was like, you know what, man, I don't want my kids to grow up how I did. I want a better life for them, of which he absolutely did. He worked his ass off, he worked hard. Daddy worked hard for his kids and for his wife. He was actually the first black CEO of KPMG. So you can imagine the kind of pressure that my poor dad was experiencing. Not only was he working so hard for his kids to have better lives, but he's the only one in his family that is able to do that. So the kinds of things that I want us to unpack on the show are obviously very related to growing up in the kinds of families where maybe just one or two, get out of this constant struggle that we all know as the norm in South Africa, and how that affects, those around us, how it has an effect on our families, on our cousins. I want to touch on black tax, because black tax is just such an ongoing, evolving concept that I may or may not believe in, you may or may not believe in. But because of certain situations, it's just necessary. We have to kind of do what we have to do for some of our family members to get to certain places. So some of the conversations are going to be uncomfortable. I'm going to tell you off the bat, it's not always going to be glitter and sunshine and rainbows and kisses. It's going to be hard. It's going to be tough. It's going to be confrontational. And that's just the kind of person that I am. This is my life. This is Life with Lebang. And let's get real. This is a safe space. This is a safe space. I want you to feel like you are taken care of, but just be real with me. Just be real with me and I'll be real with you. Let's have those conversations that people are scared to have, because if you want to have those safe conversations, I can tell you already right now, you are tuned into the wrong place. That is not going to happen here, sweetie. Here we are being real, we're being hardcore, we're being honest, and we're speaking our truths. and our truths are allowed. So that's more about me, just to give you a bit of a background, on how I got into the seat that I'm sitting in right now. I have so much that I want to share with you, but I can't do it all in one setting. So I want to encourage you every single time that you've got, just give me an ear when you're driving, when you're cooking, whatever it is that you're doing. Let's do it together. Allow me to be the person that, can add some value into your day, that can just give you a positive nudge that, you know what, you can do it. Just to make you feel good. Cause I'm quite exhausted by people not feeling good. It doesn't make me feel good to see how sad and upset everybody is. And I always walk into the room, or any room for that matter, and I've got this crazy amount of energy, and some people are just like, how are you always doing this? How are you always just bubbly and alive? You know, it's not that kind of vibe. And I'm like, look, I choose my vibe, and for that reason I want you to also choose your vibe. So choose dope, positive vibes. Choose the right kind of energy. You are in control of what you attract and of what, you know, ultimately your day becomes, your week becomes, your year becomes, and your life becomes. So while you still can make better choices, make the right choices, and that's my piece. That's my piece on generally what the show is going to be about. I did say it's going to get rough. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a hard pill to swallow, but it's going to be a necessary pill to swallow. So, there's a song that I woke up thinking about, and like it just kind of popped into my head because I love music so much. It's a song by Talib Kweli. It's called Get By. And in the song, Talib Kweli is really just expressing how life is ultimately that. We're doing what we want to do, what we can do rather, every single day just to get by. You wake up in the morning and there's no food in your house. You'll do what you have to do just to get by. You wake up in the morning, you go to the office and your boss or your manager is just giving you grief, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Why? Just to get by. So I want to encourage you right now and just say, hey man, do what you gotta do. Don't feel like, hey man, you know what you're doing isn't working. We have to do what we have to do to get by, but we do it in the right way and in a positive way. So after that, when I come back from this short musical break, we're just gonna dive into some scary statistics about South Africa and about how many girls have given birth. And not just any girls. Young girls, teenage girls have given birth in South Africa in the past year. It's quite scary. These numbers they're crackling. So, I'll see you now.
CliffCentral.com.
We're going to cry, laugh, and love. And we're going to do it together. The Life with Lebang podcast.